Sac Golden State were at 2-2. Gutsy performance, game 3 without Draymond to get the win. Another just classic game yesterday. I want to just talk real quick before we get into some big picture stuff. Sort of an unprecedented Steph timeout. Like, he's generally a player that has great game awareness and knows time and score. So it was a little surprising. Fox then hits the 3. I want to go to that last play. So they get the switch. Fox wants to ISO on Steph. They get the switch. Harrison Barnes stays in the corner. To me, I don't know how you do it. You either got to just go down to the dunker. Maybe you go all the way to the corner. Maybe if Draymond doubles, you flash to the paint. But you got to fucking get Draymond off the elbow. You just got to figure out a way. There was enough time. You got to get him off the elbow and give Fox space to go one-on-one. Draymond yesterday, 5 for 15. The Kings were 5 for 15 when he was the primary defender, and Fox was 2 for 7 in the second half. One of those, of course, was the 3 that cut it to 1. So 1 for 6 prior to that. Draymond's defense was great. Look, I want to say one thing because Kings fans think I'm like favoring the Warriors in this because of whatever. Draymond should have been called for a technical last night.
After which play?
So he makes a great defensive play on Barnes, which was not a foul, by the way. Makes a great defensive play. Then Sabonis gets the ball, blocks Sabonis. Then he stands over him and he taunts him. Nick Claxton got, inconsistency. No, Tommy, the inconsistency in this, I get that.
But it was bullshit when Claxton got it. He shouldn't have gotten it. I mean, that's the refs.
It's all been bullshit.
But 2 wrongs don't make a right.
No, but this is the NBA. This is not youth rec league basketball. The inconsistency across the board from the league in these playoffs has been mind-blowing.
Oh, I agree.
It's been mind-blowing.
I agree. The
game 3 Nets Sixers.
It was a joke.
What are we doing here?
It was a board.
What are we doing here?
James' thing was borderline not a foul. And
I agree.
For it.
I agree. It was not a foul.
Yeah. I just think that I like the fact that he didn't get it because I don't like the refs deciding
I'm not saying
games.
I want him to get it thrown out of the game.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want Draymond to be tossed for that. I'm saying by what everything has happened in the playoffs, by the precedent set already in this series, like, why wasn't he ejected?
It was kind of funny that he got teed up with Fox like a minute and a half into the game after this. He just clearly he has not learned his lesson, or he just doesn't care. Kerr said something after the game about the Barnes shot, which I wanted to get your sort of perspective on. He basically compared it to the Wiggins miss game 1. And he was saying, I mean, this is like how close this series is just, those are two good looks. Those are two, guys you sort of want taking that shot, and they just both missed it. But it just kind of, not to be cliche, but like, this is one of those series that feels like it's like a series of inches. And either one of those teams makes that shot and it's 3-1 and we're talking about a different thing. And so, I mean, it really doesn't feel like either team has an advantage after 4, which is awesome for us as observers because we don't really know what the next 3 are going to look like.
Yeah. Someone tweeted this out last night. Both teams probably feel like they should be up 3-1. And I think that's pretty spot on. It's a thrill as a fan to get games of this magnitude and caliber so early in the playoffs. And look, the storylines are there, and it's not often when storylines and the caliber of play match up the way they have in this series, and they have. It's been spectacular basketball. Couple things on some Warriors guys, and then I'll get to some Kings guys. So first of all, Klay Thompson, I know we've said it. I'm going to say it again. Him coming back from these 2 lower leg injuries with the knee and the Achilles, took some time. He is back. He was back. He was back, from basically January on. He's been awesome. Curry, his 39th playoff game with 30 points, with 30 or more points and 5 or more threes. That's 22 more than any player in NBA history. He had his 54th game with 30 points or more in the playoffs. That's now 9th all time. He just passed Hakeem and Karl Malone yesterday. Like Steph Curry, a narrative around Steph Curry was until he had that performance last year against the Celtics, a narrative around it was like, oh, he's not as good. This Steph Curry is an all-time playoff performer and has been since this first and second round in 2013. Prior to, us beat him, then the next year, then he gets his first MVP and title in 15. Here's the crazy thing that I don't think we talk about enough with Steph Curry. I don't know why. We'll give him 6'3". He's a 6'3" guard who has never had the pop and the burst and the leaping ability of some other incredible guards of this era. He won the MVP in 2015. He won the MVP in 2016. In his 20s. He's 35 now. I think Steph Curry is better now than he was back then. That is remarkable. Yeah. Let's not take it for granted.
Yeah.
Let's not take it for granted. I'm not just bringing LeBron in here. I was thinking about this yesterday. I didn't get to see it because by the time I started watching the NBA in 91, 92, Bird and Magic were, but NBA fans got to see 3 all-time greats, right? Bird, Magic, Jordan, all play at the same time. We probably got, Shaq and Kobe, I think, are all-time greats. We'll throw Duncan in there. It's a different era, a different era of basketball. But we're in an era now where we got 2 of the all-time greats. 2 of the all-time greats playing at the same time, potentially in the second round matchup, which would be incredible. This has been an awesome era of the NBA.
And to your point about the playoff performance, I actually thought Game 3 in the series was a better mark of it with their sort of backs against the wall. We've talked about this with him and a million of the Celtics guys about last year too. He's that guy when they're down to the mat, he's showing up. You don't always know they're going to win, but that he's coming out guns blazing, and that's what he did on Friday. Like he just is. That's really the heart of the champion type situation with him.
Yeah, and after Game 2, I talked about the 3-point shooting for Golden State. That's obviously was great at home. Game 4, Steph and Klay combined 9 for 20. The team was 14 for 34. Not the volume that they shot at it in the regular season in Game 4 specifically, but the efficiencies there. On the other side, De'Aaron Fox, as good as advertised, another 38-point game. His 126 points through 4 games, the most in franchise history, going back all the way to the Rochester Royals, and the second player in franchise history with 2 35-point games in a series. The only other guy to do that in franchise history is Oscar Robertson.
When Fox is hitting his threes, how many guards in the league are you taking over him?
Not many.
He's just,
maybe 3.
Yeah, it's great. He really is
Steph, Dame, and probably Devin Booker.
Yeah.
There's a reason I had him as second team all NBA. All right. 2 things for the Kings. Herter's due. He is due for a good shooting game. He's really struggled from 3, 14% from 3. I thought at times early in the series, he got good looks. You have to give Golden State credit. That DHO action with him and Sabonis, which was one of the most efficient plays in basketball this season. They've done a good job defending that. They've done a good job fighting over screens. One of the things, this is my perspective as a player, and I've watched all of the games for the most part. I think I missed 2 games in this playoff series, but I've rewatched some of them. In all the games, one of the things I watch with shooters is who they're matched up with on the other end. And I think in this series in particular, Herter has had to chase Klay. He's had to chase Steph. There's a toll to your legs when you have to do this consecutively for 30 minutes a night, game to game to game to game. It's not like the regular season where, hey, I got to guard Steph and Klay. I got to chase them around. Okay, legs. Yeah, I get that. And then the next night, you're kind of like standing in the corner watching spread pick and roll.
Yeah.
The Warriors play a certain way, and that takes its toll on your legs. Now, I think there's a point where you sort of you reach an endurance level. Herter, to me, is going to have a good shooting game, and that potentially could be the difference in a game.
Yeah.
That's how close this series is. If he can hit 4 or 5 threes in a game, on 8 attempts, 7 attempts, whatever, that could win a game in this series.
Well, it felt like Keegan Murray was great yesterday, and it felt like that was a thing that could have been, if they had won yesterday, it could have been because of that.
Yeah, exactly. And the other point, Curry yesterday versus Davion Mitchell, he was 4 for 10 when Mitchell was the primary defender. And Mitchell's had some great offensive moments and great offensive stretches as well in this series. That's got to be a matchup that I'm looking at for the next 3 games. How much Mitchell sort of stays on Curry. I know Golden State, just the way they move and the way they manipulate it. It's like, all right. It's funny because you think about like Tatum or Brown, watching the Celtics game last night against the Hawks. And they're just like manipulating ways to get Trae Young involved in Spain pick and roll down the stretch. The Warriors do it in a different way. They're not going to run a 1-2 pick and roll, get the matchup they want, and then go one-on-one. They sort of get guys off of your body, off the ball, and then they take advantage of the lack of awareness sometimes from a big or a 4 that's got to run and chase them around. So how much he sticks on Curry onto his body and doesn't switch, I think is going to be really interesting. If you want to watch the rest of the episode, check out The Old Man of the Three Things, available exclusively on Amazon Music.